What's going on? Coach Bess here. We are live for our daily check-in. It is Wednesday of week 3, so that puts us at day 13 of our at-home learning. Again, just want to remind all of the students, make sure you're taking advantage, getting in contact with your teachers, making sure everything is where it needs to be. I had a great meeting this morning with my PLC, myself, Mr. Harder, and Ms. Cooper, and talking about freshman seminar and getting some things going for freshman seminar next year. So we're working. All your teachers are. Again, students, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. So do Coach Bess a favor and make sure you contact one of your teachers, at least one of your teachers, and just reach out to them and tell them how much you appreciate them. I know you guys do appreciate your teachers. So do that for me, please. Your teachers will love that. So obviously, we are having our own struggles with this time being at home. Teaching our own children and those kind of all the stuff that you guys are going through. Teachers are as well. So teachers would love nothing more than to hear from their students. So make sure you're contacting your teachers. You're checking your Google Classrooms. Again, tomorrow, Thursday, there will be office hours from 1 to 3 p.m. So use that time. So today for our alumni spotlight, I'm being joined by Chris Ramos. I'm trying to get her on here. I'm sorry for my delay, but Chris Ramos joining me, and there she is. Looks like
Hey,
she's
Case.
on break from work or something.
I just came off the plant floor. I didn't take off my stuff.
Well,
So,
there you go. 99, right?
yeah, the
99
last
grad.
99.
So Chris Davids, but now Ramos. And
Mm-hmm.
Juan, what year was Juan?
97.
97. Okay.
Yeah,
So
the way back.
right, way back. My wrestling coach in junior high school.
Us old folk.
But so I think you've obviously seen a few of the videos, but this whole idea just started of ways that I could highlight some alumni, and instead of me talking, about people, I said, why not get you guys on here live and let you tell your own story, and just a way for people's stories to be told, and for I have a lot of students that follow me on Facebook, and I just hope that they're watching these and seeing just all the different things and places that different Bearcats are and doing, and maybe use it as some motivation, inspiration for them to chase their dreams and goals, and you know so I appreciate you joining me, and
No problem. Yeah,
but
I'm not as cool as Cecily and Torrance, so I'm a little more boring, I would say, as far as alumni goes. But I am proud to be a Bearcat, and I'm very grateful for the experiences that I've been able to have because I've made the decision to stay in Battle Creek my whole life. Not a lot of people do that. So this is where my family is. This is where my roots are. And I'm very blessed to have all my family here and my extended family, which makes working crazy hours and things when they happen come up really, really easy. Some people don't have that luxury. So,
yeah, and that's awesome. The first week that I did this, I had Alicia Johnson on, and she talked about that too. Obviously not knocking people that choosing
no,
to
no,
go out, but just there are some of us that decided to stay, and and that's awesome. And obviously, you're going to get into it, but you have a great job and position with Kellogg here in Battle Creek, and so that makes it fortunate. But so first question, really, if you'll just talk about what your experience was when you were at Battle Creek and Battle Creek Central, and what you did and what you participated in high school.
sure. So I was the last class of the century. So I was really involved in school. I played sports. Was a swimmer and diver, a 4-year varsity letter, in swimming and diving. I played volleyball till I realized I was too short and wasn't going to have a career. And then I also played softball. So those were my sports I played. And then I was involved in marching band and a cappella choir. And then, just the normal, I think, high school activities that we participated in. So, trying to think. So my experience at Central actually led me to explore what I wanted to be when I grow up. So there was a program called School to Work through the Tech Center, and you had to apply, you had to interview for it, and they selected you and then matched you with an organization. And I started in the chemistry department in the old Building 99 here at Kellogg's. So I was a student worker. I went to school half the day, and then the other half of the day, I worked in the chemistry department because I was thinking I wanted to major in chemistry. And I ended up, they were like, don't major in chemistry, major in food science. So that's how I started my journey at Michigan State with a food science degree.
Awesome. Yeah, that we actually had, it would be 2 years ago now. One of our senior football players in the fall was doing an internship with Kellogg, and it was fun to. He would always be pulling in from leaving, and he was at the headquarters, and so
Yep.
he was dressed with nice slacks and a shirt. And I would always meet Corey in the parking lot as I was walking over to the stadium from school, and he'd be getting out of his car and he's walking in with
All
his badge,
fancy.
and it's just like,
Yep. Yep.
but just an awesome experience for him. And Corey was our salutatorian or valedictorian, I forget. I had one of my baseball players was valedictorian, and Corey was salutatorian. So that was a real cool graduating class to have two of the athletes be the salutatorian and valedictorian. But
Yeah, it's been fun to see people that I've went to school with. We're now coworkers together, or Mo Fitzpatrick and we worked together when I was down at WKKI in the R&D group. So it's been nice to see some of my fellow Bearcats here, even at work. So there's a lot of us out there, and we're all doing some really cool things, and we're all really blessed in different ways.
So you said food science, and you brought up Michigan State. So talk about your
I
college and
know,
kind of
I'm a
just
Spartan. I
just
know.
lead
We have
lead
our
it
flaws.
lead it into just tell about your college life and basically what brought you into what you're doing now today.
So, my experience is kind of cool. So, at Michigan State, it's a large university. The food science department is in the College of Ag. And back when I started, I only graduated with 8 people in my class. So, I got the really big university experience as far as, going to football games and basketball games and the atmosphere that brings to when it came to classes. There were only 8 of us in our classes. So, I didn't, you had some of your bigger core classes that everybody's required to take, like chemistry and math, that were larger, but my um, degree, my major classes, there were only 8 to 10 of us in there. So that gave it a
Hmm. Internet's gone. I don't know if let's see if me moving. You there? I lost you. I don't know if it's on my end or just on. You there? Well, of course, technical difficulties. We will see what we can do. I'm going to end. Okay, so you can see me. Okay, well then I'm not going to end it. So it must be her internet at the good old Kellogg Company. I'm starting to hear something now. We're back. Let's see. Can I? Hmm. Let me try to remove her, and then we'll bring her back. Maybe. There you are.
Hey.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Technical difficulties. It's
Hey, it
okay.
happens every day.
It makes it real. I'm just glad I didn't end it and then
Woo.
had to restart it. So we're all good.
Sorry.
So you were talking about being at Michigan State and
Yeah.
getting the experience of the large campus. But then within your major, you had a small group,
Small
8 to
class
10.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, you got to know your professors on a personal level, similar to like at Central, right? You know who your teachers are, and it changes the relationship. So it was really cool to have that. And then they would share their experiences, and they were well connected within the industry. So the world out there is a really small world. People don't realize it now, but like one day I was traveling for work in my last role that I had, and I physically ran into Cecily in the airport in Atlanta. Like, you never know where you're going to run into people. So you need to make sure that you foster those relationships, because they'll end up needing them, or they'll be beneficial further down the road, like this conversation here, right? Like having relationships in your network with people becomes really important. So you need to make sure that you doesn't mean you always agree with everything, but it does mean that you have a way to pick up the phone and say, hey, I need help with this, or can you connect me with that? And having those helps you become more successful. So keep your bridges and your connections with people open.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've always loved about, and it just seems I don't know for sure because I've never been anywhere else, but Battle Creek Central and the Bearcat Pride and that is just seems like we've always had a good close knit connection and been able to use that networking, and just Bearcats look out for each other, and
Absolutely.
and that's why I love what doing this and the last couple of weeks of doing this have been fun for me because I am mostly reaching out to people that I do have personal relationships with, some sort of way, some sort of personal connection with. But still, it's just a broad network. And I was talking to my girlfriend, Dr. Harvey, the other day, and she said, like I hope your students are seeing this and seeing that you know being able to possibly use it as a network,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
and saying, hey, Coach Best, I remember you talked to so and so and I have a similar interest. Could you put me in contact? And that's really one of the things that I wanted to do with this is just showing our kids just the vast opportunities they have and so many people that would and so many of you guys have already that I have brought on have already supported me and what I do with our things at Battle Creek so much. So um, just giving them opportunities. So that
Yeah,
networking piece.
it's super cool. And I mean, how many people can say, like, today, like, I can go to the store next week and I can see cereal that we made here today? Like,
Right.
not everybody gets to see that kind of instant gratification, or projects that I've worked on in the past finally go through and make it out to the store. It's it stinks sometimes because you can't share everything that you do with the people, that you'd want to share it. But when it finally does come to fruition, I know the developer of the people that, develop the blueberry mini wheats and different things like, that's pretty cool. So there are some unique opportunities out there. You just have to know where to look, and they might not be presented to you in a way that, is formal. And just because you go to school for one thing doesn't mean that's the only thing you can ever do. That, don't let that piece of paper dictate your future. You got to have the paper first, but once you have the paper, the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. So the final question that I've been asking people is just any advice, just because again I have so many students that hopefully will see this on Facebook and whatnot. But what would be any advice that you give to a current high school student at Battle Creek Central?
I would say my best advice would be to take every opportunity that you have, even if you don't think it's something you want, or if you think it's something that you don't think you're going to be good at, because you don't know unless you put yourself in that situation. And you only get so many trips around the sun every, in your lifetime. And I think you can look back and say, God, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have worked harder at this. We're always going to have regrets in life, but you want to be able to have those be fewer and far between. The older you get, the more you look back and say, man, I wish I would have practiced more, because maybe I could have gotten a scholarship to do this, or, you know, I could have been, salutatorian if I would have worked harder and done that. So I think just living your life and seizing the opportunities as they're presented.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. So, well, I will
Thank you.
let you get back to work,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you coming
Hey,
on,
no
and
problem.
it's good to see you, and
Absolutely.
we'll catch up. And I
All
know
right.
you and Juan both celebrated birthdays this week, so
We did.
happy
Yeah.
belated birthdays.
Quarantine birthdays.
Right.
Yeah. Who
I
would have thought, right?
Yep, right. So, well, again, thank you very much for
You're
coming on, and
welcome.
we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Yep,
See
bye.
ya. Bye.
Awesome. All right. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. That's the first time that that majorly has happened, but that's okay. We got through it. So again, Christy was um, 99 grad. My biggest memory with her was when I was young, elementary school. So she was maybe just started high school, but maybe was even in middle school herself. But she would work the Michigan high school team wrestling and individual wrestling finals that we held here at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek. And my grandparents, along with the Evanses and my father, were very instrumental in running that wrestling tournament. And she was one of the high school workers, and she had a very good relationship with my grandparents, and so she's like a adopted family member of the Besses because of the Michigan high school wrestling tournament, and her connection she made with my grandparents. But just again, a great example of a Bearcat that's doing big things. Obviously, she stayed here home in Battle Creek, but working for the Kellogg Company, and just again, it's a great example of a Bearcat doing big things. So appreciate her coming on. Again, students, make sure you're taking care of your business. Like she said, take advantage of the opportunities, and really, try to look for the good in everything. And in this pandemic, there's opportunities really for you to improve your grade point average, get your grades, take the time, connect with your teachers, um, show your teachers mastery, and that you can get your grades to where you need to get them to. So